Live from Detroit's news leader, it's 11 o'clock, and this is Local 4, where local news comes first. With Carmen Harlan, Devin Skillion, Chuck Gatica, Bernie Smilowitz, and Detroit's #1 news team.
Lacey and her unborn child did not deserve to die. They certainly did not deserve to be dumped in the bay and sent to a watery grave.
Tears and heartache. Tonight, Lacey Peterson's parents hold nothing back as they break their silence about the murder of their daughter. Good evening, I'm Ruth Spencer.
And I'm Emery King. Carmen and Devin are off tonight on the day when Scott Peterson pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder in the deaths of his wife, Lacey, and their unborn son. Lacey's family shares their gratitude, heartache, and quest for justice. Our Joelle Lukashevitz joins us now with more on their emotional message. Joelle.
Well, Emery, to say members of Lacey Peterson's family are grief-stricken is an understatement. It is very obvious just from listening to her parents just what a nightmare this is.
I literally get sick to my stomach when I allow myself to think about what may have happened to them. No parent should ever have to think about the way their child was murdered.
Barely able to choke out words, the mother of Lacey Peterson speaks out for the first time since her daughter's discovery, her anguish and anger overwhelming.
In my mind, I keep hearing Lacey say to me, "Mom, please find me and Connor and bring us home. I'm scared."
The body of the missing pregnant woman washed ashore last week in California, along with the tiny body of her unborn fetus. Lacey Peterson's father is grief-stricken as he thanks the nation for all the support.
I'd also like to thank my friends, my family, my friends, and thousands of people I don't even know. Thank you for searching and praying for my daughter and grandson. Your support has been overwhelming. Thank you.
Also this afternoon, Scott Peterson was ushered into a California courtroom bound and shackled. Peterson was arraigned on 2 counts of murder, but the 30-year-old pled not guilty to killing his wife and unborn son. Lacey Peterson's family was very careful to never mention Scott's name, but alluded to the fact they do believe he is undoubtedly the killer.
I can only hope that the sound of Lacey's voice begging for her life and begging for the life of her unborn child is heard over and over and over again in the mind of that person every day for the rest of his life.
Now, in another new development in this case, the prosecutor says he most likely will seek the death penalty if Scott Peterson is convicted. I'm Joelle Lukashevitz, Local First.
All right, Joelle. Well, new at 11 tonight, businesses robbed in 3 different cities over 2 weeks. But tonight, police believe they have their man. Local 4's Darielle Snipes is live. She's in Rochester Hills with more on the charges. Darielle?
Ruth, this Little Caesars was the last place to be robbed by this suspect before he was caught by police, putting an end to a suburban robbery spree done by this career criminal.
At first, I thought he was a customer until I approached him and he put the gun in my back and said, "You know what this is? Empty out the register."
That's when Zach Jones knew he was being robbed, only his 3rd day on the job. And he realized he needed his survival skills, not his sandwich-making skills, to get through this ordeal.
I got a little scared and I dropped some, and he's like, "I'm getting very pissed off at you." And I said, "Okay, just don't hurt me." And so he takes me to the bathroom. He says, "Count to 100.
Oakland County Sheriff's deputies believe this crime came in second in a string of robberies this man, Florida native John Gattaspati, committed using the same method of operation. Police say the first happened at a bagel shop in Pontiac on April 8th. Then the Rochester Hills subway on West Auburn on the 14th. 2 days later, he hit Priscilla's in Waterford. Police say he then came back to Rochester Hills on the 17th and held up a Little Caesars. Police arrested Gattaspati over the weekend with his accomplice, Jennifer Dickerson. They suspect while casing another business.
We recovered some of the clothing that was seen in the videotapes on some of the robberies. We recovered a handgun. It turns out it's a pellet gun taped up to look like a real handgun. But in the eyes of Michigan law, it makes no difference. It's armed robbery.
I feel a lot safer now. I don't have to lock all the doors, and I'm not constantly looking at all the monitors all the time now that he's been caught.
Police say Gattaspati has a lengthy criminal record dating back to the mid-'80s, going in and out of jail, mainly in Florida. At least a dozen convictions, mainly because of stolen properties, going all the way up to kidnapping. Police believe that there'll be more charges filed against Dickerson and Gattaspati in those other robberies, and they also are looking into one other person to see if that person is involved in these crimes. Reporting live in Rochester Hills, Darielle Snipes, Local First.
And now the latest on Iraq. New developments in the hunt for weapons of mass destruction. There are reports that Iraqis destroyed and buried chemical and biological weapons days before the war started. Inspection teams hunting for WMD have so far come up empty-handed. The retired U.S. military man who will head up efforts to rebuild Iraq is in Baghdad tonight. Lieutenant General Jay Garner, retired, says his top priority is restoring basic services like water and electricity. The U.S. Army held a job fair Baghdad today, looking to hire residents to help in the rebuilding process. 200 job seekers were expected. More than 1,000 of them showed up. Stay with Local 4 and click on Detroit for the most comprehensive continuing coverage of the war in Iraq.
The Wayne County prosecutor renews his promise to protect children from guns. Mike Duggan filed child abuse charges today against two men. Police say they both left loaded guns where children could find them.
We have not had a child under the age of 16 murdered in the city with a gun since last August, but we are now starting to lose kids to accidental shootings.
The first incident happened when a 12-year-old boy found a loaded sawed-off shotgun. He accidentally shot and maimed his 13-year-old cousin. The other incident happened when 13-year-old Antoine Hardwick found his uncle's loaded handgun and accidentally killed himself.
New at 11, a man wanted for questioning in the shooting death of a Canton Township woman has been found dead. The body of 47-year-old Thomas Copperstone was found in a remote area of Washtenaw County. Police say he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was wanted in connection with the death of 23-year-old Jessica Smith. Her body was found yesterday at the Days Inn Motel in Canton. A Detroit nursing home is facing, someone from a Detroit nursing home, I should say, is facing involuntary manslaughter charges after a resident died from excessive heat. Michigan Attorney General Mike Cox filed charges against the Northland Nursing Center and two members of its medical staff. 78-year-old Mary Williams died during the summer of 2001 when temperatures reached the low 90s. Cox says the staff did not provide adequate care for Williams, who had a 107-degree temperature when she was last checked.
New at 11, neighbors are speaking out now over a proposed deep injection well for hazardous waste. The wells would inject thousands of gallons of waste into the ground every day. Opponents have been fighting this proposal for 10 years.
The people of this city are sick of it. I've heard it for 10 years. Blah, blah, blah. I've heard it for 10 years. And you know what? At some point in time, the very policies that you put into action will come back to haunt your children and your grandchildren.
The Birmingham-based Environmental Disposal Systems Company wants to build the wells to store hazardous waste. The EPA is expected to make a final decision in June.
The music world is mourning the loss of a legendary singer. We'll have more on that ahead at 11. Also ahead tonight, the morning after pill may soon be available without a prescription. And strong winds topple a massive electrical tower, shipping traffic paralyzed. Kim Adams is in for Chuck with a raw Tuesday in the forecast.
Oh, that's right, Emery. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the 30s, and tomorrow we only make it to the 40s. But after that, they go right back up again. I'll have your complete 4-day planner coming up.
All right, Kim, and when Local First News at 11 continues, arrests at the Ambassador Bridge. Two men are in custody after police find something dangerous in their car. But first, meet hometown hero Lance Corporal Richard Bonner from Southfield. This graduate from Southfield High School is now on active duty at Camp Lejeune. We'll be right back.
This is Local 4, where local news comes first.
Closed captioning for today's Local 4 newscast is brought to you by Wallside Windows. Most preferred, most referred. Call today for all your window replacement needs.
A local INS officer is accused of smuggling illegal aliens into the country. Federal officials say over the past 3 years, Janice Holstead took bribes to let at least 130 illegal aliens sneak into the United States.
The monetary amounts were in the ballpark we expect the evidence to show. $4,000 to $5,000 coupled with furniture as well.
Investigators are trying to track down immigrants from Lebanon and Yemen who gained entry based on phony paperwork. So far, they've been able to round up about half of those people. If convicted, Holstead faces up to 65 years in prison.
Police arrest 2 Dearborn men believed to be videotaping the Ambassador Bridge. Police found a camera and explosive material in their car, but tonight, investigators now believe the men were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. They had just bought the new video equipment. They were testing it. The explosive devices turned out to be M80 firecrackers from last year. A man accused of smuggling $12 million in counterfeit checks through Metro Airport has pleaded guilty. Omar Shoshani was arrested at Metro last July after a customs officer found those checks. Shoshani was under federal investigation for possible terrorist ties. Tonight, he is free on a $100,000 bond. Shoshani is scheduled to be back in court in August. Well, rock and roll at Comerica Park.
2 legendary bands touring together announce a stop here in Detroit. Also ahead at 11 tonight, shipping traffic is finally moving again on the St. Clair River. This after strong winds toppled a massive electrical tower.
Up next, why the morning after pill may soon be available over the counter.
There's something in the air, and local residents want to know, what are they breathing? Is it making them sick? Defender Karen Drew digs for answers. Starts Thursday at 6 on Local 4.
In good health, it may soon be easier for women to purchase the so-called morning after pill. The maker of the pill applied for government permission to begin selling the emergency contraceptive without a prescription. The maker of Plan B pills hopes to win FDA approval for over-the-counter sales by next year. The morning after pill can prevent ovulation or fertilization when taken within 72 hours of unprotected sex. The pounding in your head may be connected to how much you snore at night. A new study has found that chronic snorers are more than twice as likely to suffer daily headaches than sleepers who don't snore. Researchers say more studies are needed to determine if snoring is the cause of chronic headaches or vice versa. Earlier studies have suggested a link between migraines and disorders like sleep apnea.
You have the right to remain silent, but the U.S. Supreme Court won't when it reconsiders the Miranda warning. The justices will hear a new case that will focus on whether physical evidence seized without such a warning can be used at trial. This case involves a Colorado man who was arrested for violating a domestic restraining order. Newly released legal brief shows 17-year-old sniper suspect Lee Malvo confessed to some of the D.C. area shootings last fall. In the documents, prosecutors say Malvo laughed as he recalled shooting the FBI analyst in the head. Malvo and John Allen Muhammad are accused of killing 13 people last summer in the D.C. area. Malvo's lawyers want that confession thrown out, arguing that he was intimidated by the police.
New tonight, a local waterway is open to traffic again. Heavy storms collapsed an electrical tower and downed power lines near the St. Clair River. The Coast Guard closed the river north of Stag Island, creating a traffic jam of boats during the busiest shipping time of the year. Crews finished clearing the electrical wires out of the water this evening. The storm also took its toll on Wayne County. Close to 10,000 DTE Energy customers lost power after that Easter Sunday storm moved through the area. Everyone has their power back on tonight, thankfully, but it took all day to clean up the mess that storm left behind. It was a tough one.
Yeah, Kim Adams is in for Chuck tonight, and we hope we don't have any more scenes like that for quite a while.
We hope so, because there have been several power outages in the last couple of weeks. Just 2 weeks ago, we had the big ice storm, and now severe weather season is upon us, which means more power outages. So DTE, Edison, really going to be busy this time of year. Tonight, we do have a cold front coming through, but it's not strong enough to bring us any severe weather. It is strong enough, though, to drop our temperatures tonight down into the 30s. We made it up to 61 degrees today. That may surprise you because it was so cloudy all day. It certainly didn't feel that warm. Current temperature is 45, and that is our official low for the day. 60 the normal high, 40 the normal low. Records for this date, 86 set back in 1987, and the record low 21 back in the 1800s. Outside tonight, skies have started to clear up just a little bit. We still have the clouds, but the rain has now moved out. We had rain from about 5 o'clock tonight through 9 o'clock, and now it's all moved off to the east, but we'll still see a couple of showers redeveloping after about 2 a.m. And by 4 a.m., as temperatures are in the 30s, we could see, I hate to say this, but a few wet snowflakes mix in. No big deal, nothing to affect the morning commute, but certainly not what we want to hear this time of year. Outside right now, skies are cloudy. We have 45 degrees in Metro Detroit. Relative humidity this hour, 86%. Pressure 29, 76 and rising. Winds are out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour. It will be windy tomorrow with winds up to 25 miles per hour out of the northwest. It's going to make it feel like it's in the 30s through most of the day. Outside tonight already down to 42 in Pontiac, 41 in Howell, 44 in Ann Arbor, 45 at Metro Airport, 46 in Grosse Ile. And as I said, temperatures tonight dropping down into the 30s. We have a good chance for rain coming back after 2 a.m. And as temperatures drop down into the 30s, a couple wet snowflakes mix in around White Lake, back into Howell. Rain in Ypsilanti tonight in 38, also in Wyandotte with temperatures in the upper 30s. Expand the view for you a bit. It stopped raining in Cadillac, Big Rapids, and Grand Rapids up in Traverse City. In the last hour, they've reported some freezing drizzle. We don't have to worry about that around here. And you can see back to the west, things have already started to quiet down. So this is a very fast-moving system. Chicago's still cloudy, but it's already clear back in western Wisconsin and in Minneapolis. So basically by tomorrow afternoon, the sun should return. Here's your forecast for the rest of tonight. Rain showers possibly mixed in with a few wet snowflakes, 38 degrees. By the daytime tomorrow, we start the day with clouds and drizzle, and then by the afternoon, not too bad. Temperatures are below normal, but at least we get a little sunshine back. 4-day planner, temperatures warm back up nicely. Wednesday and Thursday, plenty of sunshine. Back into the 60s on Thursday, and then the future forecast, a little rain on Friday, but a nice weekend ahead. Partly sunny, 64, partly sunny on Sunday, and 70 degrees.
That's good news.
We end on a good note.
All right. Thanks, Kim.
Well, a jazz and soul singer famous for her civil rights songs has died. Nina Simone was famous for ballads, gospel, and interpretations of George Gershwin. She studied piano at Juilliard. Among her best-known recordings, Gershwin's I Love You, Porgy, from the opera Porgy and Bess, and To Be Young, Gifted, and Black. Nina Simone was 70. Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan will have surgery for an enlarged prostate. Tests for cancer have come back negative. He is expected to return to work this week after spending a short time in a Washington area hospital. And we had a similar procedure in 1994. He is 77. He's been chairman of the Federal Reserve for 17 years.
A big party at the White House this morning.
Oh, yeah, ahead at 11. On your mark, get set, roll those Easter eggs. We're going to have that story. But first, Bernie rolls in with sports.
All right, Ruth, the Pistons talk about how they're going to stop Tracy McGrady, and Tracy McGrady talks right back at the Pistons. Don't miss it. Boston Marathon today, kind of interesting, and it was a wild weekend at Bernie's. We've got highlights for, hey, what is that all about? They were cleaning the joint up. Come on back.
Hi, I want to thank all the men and women and our coalitions over there who are fighting for freedom, and also they're fighting against terrorism. We really appreciate it.
I just wanted to let you know you're in our thoughts and in our prayers. Best of luck to the troops in Iraq.
Come home safe.
Love ya. Bye.
Okay, Bernie is in with sports. NBA playoff times. Pistons got to suck it up, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You want to translate that? Do it later. The Pistons know they got some work in front of them. They've lost the home court advantage against the Orlando Magic, but that's not what's bothering them. They got out-physicaled on their own floor, and that is not sitting well with them. The Magic won the opener at the Palace yesterday, which has put the Pistons back on their heels. Much of the physical play came from Orlando yesterday. Chauncey Billups says he knows his guys have got to step up and show their might.
When we went to the basket, I know I went to the basket 5 or 6 times. They put me on the wood, and that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to foul hard. You're supposed to make guys pay for coming in there, and I don't think we did that the way we should have. You know, we got to take care of our business, man.
If they want to be physical, let them be physical. You know, I know how to do the same, and I know how to, you know, prevent myself from getting caught up in whatever they're trying to, you know, to do to me. So it's not going to work, whatever they're going to do.
No, he's not scared of anything, is he? NBA play, a little smack, don't you think? NBA playoffs tonight in Indianapolis. Pacers beat the Celtics 89-77. That tied the series at 1-1. We've got highlights first quarter. Pacers with the ball, alley-oop to Jermaine O'Neal. He's going to get the slam. He had 23 at the half. Pacers led it 54-48. Fourth quarter, Pacers with the ball. It's Miller time, as in Reggie with the three-pointer at 18. Pacers win it, tie it at 1-1. Kansas today made it official. Bill Self is their new basketball coach, taking over for Roy Williams. Illinois now needs a new head coach. They'll probably get Tom Crean out of Marquette. Stanley Cup playoffs in Minnesota. The Wild is forced to seventh and deciding game tonight, and they beat the Avalanche 3-2 in overtime. Richard Park got the game winner in OT.
And see why the goaltender struggles. They're onside. Here's Park from the edge of the scores! Richard Park in sudden death overtime!
The Wild gets their first home playoff win in nearly 11 years. Game 7 is tomorrow night. They're not taking any breaks. Tomorrow night in Colorado. Also tonight, Toronto beat Philly 2-1. That series tied 3-3. Game 7 there tomorrow night in Philadelphia. Boston Marathon run once again today, and again dominated by the Kenyan runners. They grabbed the top 5 spots in the men's division. We've got highlights. A lovely day for the start of the race. 20,260 were on hand at the beginning. Not all there at the end, but there's your start. The race also attracted, the superheroes were there this year. Captain America made it, and there he is in the middle of the pack. I bet he did well. The winner, Robert Chariot of Kenya. It's the 12th time in the last 13 years someone from Kenya has won it. On the women's side, Svetlana Zakharova won it. The men's and winners get $80,000 each, plus an olive wreath and a bowl of beef stew. No U.S. winner has won in 20 years. That beef stew will be pretty mighty tasty after going 26. Finally, it's Monday. Time to answer the question that has Tigers hitting coach Bruce Fields shaking his head.
Hey, Bernie, it's Bruce Fields, the Detroit Tiger hitting coach. When I'm not too busy working with the Detroit Tiger hitters, my wife Julie and I often wonder what's going on with Weekend at Bernie's. Hey, Julie, that's for you.
Nice touch, huh? Nice touch. That was good. That's right. Time for Weekend at Bernie's. We've got highlights. We'll start with Joan Rivers' daughter, Melissa Rivers. There she is on the left. Recently divorced, back on the prowl during an arena football game, talking to the guy. Most expensive throw of the weekend, Chris Shivers get thrown by Little Yellow Jacket. If he stays on for 8 seconds, he wins $1 million. Second prize, though, was Melissa Rivers, so it wasn't bad. Best shot of the weekend, Stephon Marbury lets it go at the buzzer, banks it home, and the Spurs lose to the Suns. So, most painful sight for Detroit sports fan, Tracy McGrady. Ooh. Man, was he good yesterday. Too good with 43. Best job of keeping the bases clean in Boston, where the Ball Girls honored women's baseball from the movie League of Their Own. There you go. And finally, best job of making like it's your apartment. This guy just caught Sammy Sosa's home run ball. Now the question is that really his apartment, or is he just making his getaway? It's got to be his apartment.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, we'll be right back.